This week on the Racer X Show, a multi-time champ is crowned in Pennsylvania. A first-time champ is crowned in Indiana. Will the United States be champs again? And we speak with seven-time AMA champ Josh Hayes about his fourth. That and more right now. Hello and welcome to the Racer X Show, presented by Chaparral Motorsports. I'm Greg. Thanks for joining us here on our Racing Highlight News Show. And this one has a lot of champions talk, a lot of number one plate chit-chat. So it's time to roll.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Chaparral Motorsports. Visit Chaparral Motorsports online at chatmoto.com.
We'll start you off with round 11 of the 2014 AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis. Somerset, Pennsylvania played host to the CarMate Mountain Ridge GNCC, where factory FMF KTM's Kailub Russell clinched the 2014 National Championship 2 rounds early after claiming his 5th straight victory of the season. To the highlights we go. When the green flag flew to start the XC1 class, it was NFAB AMPRO Yamaha's Paul Whibley leading the way through the first turn, grabbing the $250 All Balls Racing XC1 Hole Shot Award. Despite tipping over on the first corner of the start, NFAB AMPRO Yamaha's Jordan Ashburn made his way to the front by the opening lap, where he led his teammates and former GNCC champ Whibley and Josh Strang early on. However, Russell got off to a slower start, checking in around 5th place after lap 1. By lap 2, Russell had pushed his way towards the front as he joined Ashburn for the lead battle. Josh Strang had to retire after fuel spillage in his lap caused him a lot of pain. That opened the door for factory Husqvarna's Andrew DeLong to gain a position in the overall running, 3rd. But XC2 Pro Lights leader Grant Baylor swooped in on adjusted time. The 17-year-old pushed his way into the 2nd spot overall. In the end, Ashburn finished 1 minute behind Russell to capture 2nd spot in the XC1 Pro class, with Baylor just behind. But adjust 30 seconds for the delayed XC2 start, and Baylor jumps to 2nd overall.
Put on a pretty nice little charge there at the end, and able to walk away with my 8th win of the season and win the championship. So it was a great year and an awesome day.
Kailub Russell now 21 career overall wins, which is good enough to tie Scott Plessinger for 5th place on the all-time bike win list. Confirmation of Russell's championship. Ashburn, 3rd overall on the day, vaulted the Tennessee native to 2nd in the standings, moving him ahead of Strang. We mentioned the great job by Grant Baylor to win the XC2 and 2nd overall, and that allows him to extend his lead in the XC2 Pro Lights with a 4th straight victory in the class. We mentioned last week that the AMA Pro Superbike Championship wrapped up in New Jersey at New Jersey Motorsports Park, and taking the premier class title, Monster Energy Graves Yamaha's Josh Hayes, who had recaptured that title after winning 3 in a row, losing it in 2013 to then teammate Josh Herron, and now the number 1 is back. So we welcome to the Racer X Show 4-time AMA Superbike champ Josh Hayes. Welcome to the show, dude.
Hi, guy. How are you, bud?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Celebrating.
I bet. Congratulations on that championship. Tell me about the season. Recap it a little bit. It was a very interesting, weird season with timing and everything, but you got the job done in impressive style. Tell me about that season.
Yeah, the season started off a little slow. For one, we had a pretty short series with only 6 races. Had problems at Daytona for the 2nd year in a row. Made it a little tough to get through that first race, but once we got rolling, things started happening. I had a really fast teammate this year, one that quite honestly I was a bit afraid of, but unfortunately he had his growing pains, and I was able to dig deep with some experience and find a way to win a bunch of races. Fortunately, we brought home number 1 plate once again for Yamaha and my team, and I'm pretty proud of it.
So now we head into the off season, and at this point, things are completely different for next season in terms of who's going to be running the show. But really, we don't know much else other than it's going to be Moto America. How are you feeling in terms of motivation for the 2015 season? And do you even know if you're going to actually be running the number 1 plate in the new series?
It's a question, quite honestly, I haven't even asked. But since I believe it's still going to have an AMA affiliation, I believe it's still going to be that same kind of racing. I would imagine. Hopefully, we'll be running a #1 on the bike. But you know, yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement around having this new group running our race series. But it's still a bit of cautious optimism. You know, we had a big change that we had hoped for a long time ago, and it didn't quite go the way that we had hoped. And big change is always going to be difficult, and this is going to be a big one, and they have a tall order in front of them to get the race series ready to go in time. So a lot of things happening, and we're going to have to kind of wait and see how they play out. But you know, the first year might be rough, but I have high hopes for the future.
Congratulations again on your 4th Superbike title. And as we get some things to unfold here with Moto America and we get more information, we definitely want to check in with you this winter and kind of see how motivation is going, how your training's going, and what you think of the new series. Cool?
Sounds great, man. Thanks.
All right, cool. That's Monster Energy Graves Yamaha AMA Pro Superbike National Champion Josh Hayes. Thanks for joining us. All right, Moto news time. This coming weekend on the far side of Europe, the motocross racing nations of the world will get together for the annual grudge match, known as the Motocross of Nations. And when they line up in Latvia, it'll be as much about Team USA versus the rest of the world as it is about the Americans against any one of the other fast reigning champions from France, England, Italy, Australia, or Belgium. Those high expectations are a result of our own success. Since 1981, the first time Team USA won, our riders have won the event a record 22 times, including 13 in a row after that initial win. Yet, it's been since 2011 that America has won, the result of some bad luck, but also some great performances by Europe's finest. The last 2 years, we've finished 3rd and 2nd, which would have been great finishes for just about any other country, but not Team USA. With America's massively huge AMA Supercross and Pro Motocross Championships, with our deep talent pools and high-stakes racing, Team USA boss Roger DeCoster is always expected to win. This time around, he might just have the right lineup to do it. Red Bull KTM's Ryan Dungey returns as team captain, with Eli Tomac and Jeremy Martin, our last 2 AMA 250 motocross champions, in tow. And the good news for US fans is, according to Jeremy Martin himself right here on the RacerX show via Skype, the track in Latvia looks a lot like Spring Creek, you know, the one he grew up on in Millville, Minnesota. That's also the track that Dungey grew up on, and Eli Tomac has won his class at the Nationals the last 2 years. Good stuff. You can watch the 2014 Motocross of Nations live this weekend on mxgp-tv.com, but make sure you set your clocks early because Latvia is in Eastern Europe. The first moto starts 6 a.m. East, Sunday morning. Good luck and safe racing to all the teams. Shameless plug time coming up starting this Thursday, September 25th, right here on RacerTV.com. We're going to be putting up the entire season of the Mountain Dew ATV MX National Championship, starting with that sick preseason show and round number 1. Then 2 races at a time each week for the next 5 weeks. 22 minutes and 30 seconds of commercial-free ATVs looking a lot like this.
Seeking to make an impact this year. Rastrelli is no stranger to the hard work, although he puts it in Florida and Texas. There are many similarities. Joel Hetrick, arguably the fastest rider in the game already, a multi-time champion amateur and youth division, and he's not intimidated by anyone. Former champ wants it back this year.
And that's probably one of the things that I really miss most about, you know, not being able to be home all the time. But you know, I wouldn't give it up for anything. You know what I do. And
the season is underway. Natali got him back, hasn't relinquished the lead since. What a fight! Weeding down to the inside, no! Natali crosses up, checker flag coming out, and the veteran on the 13.
Upland, Indiana was a spot for the final round 10 of the National Enduro Series, where factory Husqvarna's Andrew DeLong claimed his first ever national championship by winning the 2014 Kenda AMA National Enduro Series presented by Moose Racing title after taking 3rd at the Moddobbers. In addition, retiring 8-time National Enduro champ Mike Lafferty, it was his final race. In the early tests, it looked like FMF KTM's Mike Lafferty might pull off the swan song win as he got off to a quick start in the 65-mile race after winning the first 3 tests ahead of factory racing Husqvarna's Russell Bobbitt. But in only his 2nd race back from injury, it was all Bobbitt in the final 3 tests as the Georgia rider picked up the pace and pulled away to take an impressive win. Beating Lafferty by a minute and a half at the end of the race. As for DeLong, the factory racing Husqvarna rider came into the final of the series with a relatively safe 22-point advantage in the standings, needing only to post a top 10 finish to secure the title. And after getting off to a slow start in the first 3 tests, DeLong picked it up at the halfway mark and ultimately landed on the podium, giving the Pennsylvania rider more than enough points to take home that 2014 title. Lafferty finished his storied career with a podium. GNCC racer Grant Baylor 13 seconds away from the box. But this time, let's hear from our winner.
It definitely felt good to be able to come back, be competitive and, charge for the win. So, especially to do it up against, Lafferty for the last one. It felt like old times, and, we were just cutting up with each other the whole day. So it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it.
Confirmation of the final points for the completed 10 rounds of racing of the National Enduro Championship. Back at it in March of 2015. But right now, let's hear from our overall champion.
It means so much to me, I haven't won a national championship ever, so they've always eluded me, this one's mine, so I'm pretty stoked on it.
We've been telling you about the remastered races from this year's Rocky Mountain ATV MC AMA National Motocross Championship presented by AMSOIL at Loretta Lynn's. Now, we're putting up 14 races a week for 4 weeks. And right now, here on RacerTV.com, we've put up another 14 races. And the action looks like this.
There is Fly Racing, Western Power Sports, and that's your boy. Oh, big get off for the number 87 machine. And he has to jump out of the way another. That's Smith behind him. And he has picked up his pace, and he is starting to pull out from Rensley.
Check again soon. Jamie Ostadillo up front after grabbing that lead away.
He's on the gas. If he can maintain his inside line. Whoa! Side saddle, knack on the inside, trying to make some tracks on the 58. Whoa! Mumford!
Ooh, he got drilled into the ground there. Get away from that bike. That bike.
Alexander Fry in third. Here
Look
we
at that. Charbonneau with the pass on Alexander Fry.
Want to get out and watch racing? We want you to. The penultimate round of the AMA Pro Flat Track Championship, Saturday at Calistoga, California. Can Brian Smith do it? Also, if you're headed to the Spanish-French border this weekend, we'll check out MotoGP from Aragon in Spain.
The RacerX Show with Greg White is being presented by Chaparral Motorsports. Visit Chaparral Motorsports online at chatmoto.com.
Before we take off, a quick congratulations to American Jason Pridmore, who raced in the FIM World Endurance 24-hour Le Mans over the weekend. He and his team, Pens13.com, took a 2015 BMW S1000RR to 7th overall and won the Open Class division. Well done. Now, if you want to get in touch with us, shoot me an email. It's greg@racertv.com. That's it for now. We hope you enjoyed the show. We certainly did. If you want to check out all of our social media links on Twitter and Instagram, it's @RacerX Show. On YouTube, it's The RacerX Show. Like us, follow us, do all that kind of stuff. And you can follow me personally on Twitter. It's @GregWhite. Well, for the fine crew here at the RacerX Show, presented by Chaparral Motorsports and RacerTV, I'm Greg White. Remember, we are all racing all the time. Bye for now.